All right, hello and welcome to Swing It and Ding It, an iHeartMedia podcast. This is Moose, along with Harry Mays, Danielle, and Vienna Matthews, and the great ESPN Caddie, Michael Collins. Excited for this show today.
It's a Philly show, baby.
Philly
Let's go.
We're going to be talking birds. We're going to be talking Philly courses. We're going to be talking about it all. There's no doubt about it. We will be talking about the line when we see the line with Draftkings Sportsbook towards the end of the program. We're going to be talking about golf travel a little bit with our friends from All Access GTE and, of course, Comcast Business and our golf outing coming up. We have so much to get into, but Michael, welcome to Swing It and Ding It, man. Thank you.
I am sorry that it's taking me this long to come on the show and be with y'all, but I've been wanting to come on for a while. So
Sobel's been on like 4 times.
I don't know. Bring that up. We're gonna do our radio show later, and he's already gonna be giving me grief about that. You know,
the guy comes up to the area 1 month a year, a week in December, and plays golf in the freezing cold up here, and he thinks he's a Philly guy.
And he's a Mets fan. He's Mets and Patriots. Like, come on. I know. Like, boo, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, mock the Mets.
That's exactly right.
But we want to get into it all. A term that we use on this show, Michael, is golf journey, right? We talk to a lot of people about their golf journey and how they got into the game. And yours was the traditional way, right? Grew up on a country club,
right?
College scholarship, played D1 golf, just the normal, just right. Like we hear and everything else. Your story into the game of golf is one of the most interesting, and we'd love to hear it, from
and you know how many emails I get from college kids now that, see me on ESPN and they're like, I'm a journalism student. And I'm a journalism student in my second or third year in college. And how do I do it? What you asking me for? Like, I never went to college and failed high school English. So you try to follow my path, you're going to end up like, hey, didn't you want to be on ESPN? Yeah, welcome to Walmart. You want a cart or a basket. Don't follow me. Me and the SVP talk about it all the time. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and never got into golf. And it wasn't until I was probably 20. I was doing stand-up comedy full time. And another stand-up comedian was like, hey, man, you got to learn how to golf. And he used to watch it on TV. His name was Lee Schaefer. And I would make fun of him mercilessly. He was like, you got to learn how to golf. And I'd be like, for what? Because I don't have a sleep disorder like you do. What you put in golf on? You got narcolepsy or something on a Saturday? No, you got to learn. Golf is in everything. I was like, okay, whatever. But then he goes, hey, man, call a comedy club and tell them that you're playing golf in the area and see if they let you get on stage, and call another club and just ask them to do 5 minutes and see which club lets you on stage. And I called one club and was like, oh, my name's Michael Collins. I'm just started doing stand-up comedy. Was hoping I'd come do 5 minutes. And they were like, nah, send the tape, send us a video or something. And I was like, whatever. And then I called another club and was like, hey, my name's Michael Collins. I'm playing golf nearby. And I saw y'all had a comedy club. And the guy was like, yeah, sure. Where you playing? You got room for another? And I was like, oh, snap, it worked. Uh-oh. So I called Lee and was like, yo, you got to teach me it freaking worked. I can't believe this. And so he took me out to this par 3 pitch and putt in Akron, Pennsylvania. That was like $2.50 just outside Lidditz and Ephrata. Was right by Lancaster. And after we were done, he was like, what do you think? And I was like, I got $5 more, bro. I'm going to be here for a minute. I was hooked from jump. Right. And so next thing I know, like I'm trying to find where I can get golf clubs at. And now where are the golf courses? And so it turns out in 1998, I'm performing in Hilton Head, South Carolina, the week that the tournament is there. And a kid I went to high school with was an assistant pro at Nicholas's course, Indigo Run down there. And he's like, oh, man, I got his tickets to go to the tournament on Tuesday. And I was like, I don't think they play on Tuesday, bro. They only on TV. This is 1998. So I was like, they only play on Saturday and Sunday, dude. That's when I see them on TV. And he was like, no, we'll go to the practice round. And I was like, okay, bro, we're going to go watch golf practice. Come on. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But we go there and we walk in and there's a practice putting green, which at the time was elevated. So we walk up and this dude just stops putting. He comes over and is like, yo, hey, how you doing? Long time no see. And I was like, yeah, okay. And he was like, are you doing shows? And I go, yeah. And he was like, this is great. We got to hook up. It's been too long. We got to get together, man. We got to get in common. Come to the show. I was like, okay, cool, great. And he walks away. And my friend is like, you know Billy Andre? I'm like, I've never seen that guy before in my life. It turns out he thought I was Darius Rucker. He thought I was Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish. Because it's 98. Crack rearview mirror had just blown up.
Right.
And they knew each other. So my first
my
nickname on tour later that week, everybody's calling me Little Hootie. Little Hootie. That's my first. And all the guys on PGA Tour champions still call me Little Hootie.
I love
So
that.
I meet another golfer, Omar Uresti, who ends up coming to the show Tuesday night with his brother. He gives me clubhouse badges. I'm there for the whole week. By the end of the week, it's 50 players and 100 caddies have been to the show. So I start booking comedy wherever the tour is going to be. So now on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, caddies are like, yo, you want a caddy? Carry the bag this today? And not thinking I'm 35 pounds and we're going to walk 7 miles. Like, I'm just a Sherpa now for the caddy to have a day off. But it was like, I was inside the ropes and it was cool. And like all these guys I'm hanging out with in the daytime on the golf course, and at night, whatever we talked about on the golf course, I would take the stage. And so then one day, Robert Gomez called me up and was like, hey, man, what are you doing next week? And I was like, I just got one show Friday and one show Saturday. He was like, can you cancel it? And I was like, why? And I got, can we curse on here?
Mm-hmm. We can bleep it.
All right, cool. He goes, I'm playing like shit and my caddy quit and I need to remember to have fun on the golf course again. And I was like, okay. He goes, I got this rehab start on Nike Tour. You come caddy for me. And I was like, and that was now Corn Ferry Tour, but at the time it was Nike Tour. And he was like, and I go, all right, cool. Why not? What else? I'll cancel my gig. So that's how it started. We get there. The course was underwater. No practice round Tuesday. The Pro-Am got washed out on Wednesday. We weren't even allowed to like step on the course. They gave us a cart on Wednesday and said we could drive around and look at the course and couldn't hit a shot. So I'm in the cart with him and I'm like, yep, that looks like a golf course. So Thursday, first round, par 5, we on the tee box. I got the bib on and it's for real. I had no idea what I'm doing. So he comes over and takes the head cover off the driver and he looks at me and goes, yeah. And as he looked, I go, hey, don't hit it in the sand trap down there, right? Because I don't know how to rake like a pro. Cool. And he's like, and I'm like, why did he look at me like that? You know he's gonna hit it right in the bunker. And he slams the driver back in the bag. And I was like, bro, I told you not to hit it. And he was like, you can't say that. And I was like, what you mean? Now you tell me what to say? And then we got down there and I was like, what are you gonna do? He goes, I'm gonna hit it in the front bunker in front. It's a par 5, get up and down and make birdie. And I was like, fool, I just told you don't hit it in the sand because I don't know how to rake. I'm gonna tell you, hit it in that front greenside bunker, and I'm gonna tell this whole tournament that you're illegal immigrant and you're not even allowed to be in this country. And he laughed and he was like, you ain't doing nothing, and jumped down with a 3, and he hits it and he's posing as it went right in the bunker, like he called his shot, and then looked at me, man. And I was like, yo, hey, he's not even legal. He's not supposed to be here. And then I looked around at the other 2 golfers and caddies, and they're like, what the hell is going on here? What is this? And I was like, oh, snap, I forgot there's other dudes. But we had so much fun. By the end of the week, other dudes were like, yo, man, here's my phone number. Call me when you got a week off from comedy because I got to remember how to have fun again on the golf course.
Wow.
That's how my caddy stuff started. It was crazy. And then for like the media stuff, I was caddying for Omar Uresti. We're at the Byron Nelson. And this dude comes up to me and goes, hey, man, I know you do stand-up comedy and you're out here caddying and stuff, but how would you feel like on an off week, maybe try to do play-by-play? And I was like, word, who you with? Golf Channel, ABC, CBS, NBC? And he was like, no, XM Radio. And I was like, golf on the radio? Come on, man. It's hard enough to watch paint dry. You think people are gonna listen to paint dry? Golf on the radio? Come on, man.
I do.
So that's the thing. And he was like, this is why we think you'd be good at it. And I was like, you know what? Why not? And then right before I did my first one, I called my best friend at the time and I was like, yo, man, I don't know. What am I going to, how do I do this, bro? What am I going to do? Jose Diaz. And Jose tells me, he goes, hey, man, pretend like we're on the phone. And just tell me from the phone, like everything that you see, what's happening. Act like we're just on the phone together. And I was like, all right, cool. And it turns out the head of ESPN and Fox Sports at the time, Closet Golf Maniacs, listened to Golf on the Radio. Mm-hmm. And the next thing I know, I was getting messages on Twitter from ESPN and got a call from the dude at Fox Sports.
Wow. This is like Forrest Gump.
Bro, it's
It's
the
unbelievable.
craziest.
It's
I'm
unbelievable.
telling you, it's the craziest. And literally, when I went and did the ESPN interview, they call it the car wash. So you got to go up there. It's an 8-hour day. You do 9 interviews, but the first interview is with the top dude. And this dude, like I'm sitting there, like, it's my first interview. I'm looking around like, man, come on, there's no way. Like, so we walk into his office, like he comes out of he got the corner office and stuff, and he comes out, and of course, and everybody, I look around, everybody's like on their P's and Q's, like, oh, the big boss got to act like I'm really working here. And he takes me in the office all serious, and he closes the door, and he's like, man, I'm so excited you're here. And I'm looking around in the corners of his office, and he's like, is everything okay? And I was like, man, I'm looking for cameras, because if Ashton Kutcher comes in here and tells me I'm going to be so mad right now.
Oh, it's amazing.
And he laughed, and he was like, no, man, you're not punk. This is real. And I was like, no, seriously, like, come on, man. Like, I'm at ESPN headquarters for a job interview. Like, I was just doing stand-up comedy and, like, caddying on the PGA Tour. Now you're telling me I can work for, like, the spot? Like, seriously, this is real? And he was like, yeah, we thought one of our writers is leaving, and we thought we want to try something different. And I was like, well, you getting something different, because I failed high school English, and I still type with 2 fingers, like, because I used to make fun of kids in typing class, and now karma's biting me in the ass because you're going to hire me as a writer.
Wow.
That's amazing.
There
So
you
yeah,
go.
very traditional journey. Like Moose
Yeah,
said.
which is why, like, and I've spoken a bunch of times at some college journalism schools. Like, here at I live in Gainesville, so I've spoken at UF, all the time. And that's what I tell kids. I listen, man, and even little kids, when I speak to children, same thing. Do not be afraid to say, yeah, why not? Because you just never know when opportunity is going to open the door that you weren't expecting, like in a direction you never thought you were going to go. But you try something and be like, who knows? If I like it, cool. If I don't like it, whatever. At least I tried it. It's kind of like vegetables a little bit, right? Where it's like, look, Brussels sprouts look disgusting. And then you taste it. And it's, when they broiled with special, and you're like, that looked disgusting and it was delicious. And that's kind of like how my life journey has been. It's
amazing.
I still tell my mom too, at some point an alarm clock's going to go off, and like, I'm going to be 13. You're going to be like, get up and go to school. Damn, I knew this was a dream. I knew it wasn't real.
Incredible. Well, you highlighted the networking aspect and how your friend Lee, just said, get into it.
Yeah.
I didn't have a ton of experience with golf, but when I worked for the Magic post college, I was like, yeah, I play golf, and I did kind of just a subtle drop like that. And all of a sudden, I'm the B Ops team. I'm going out. They need a woman on their team for whatever it is, and it's like everyone's like, that ain't fair. This is the 3rd time this week you're leaving the office. I'm like, learn to play. Like,
and I tell people now, if you like a daughter, if you want your daughter to go to college for free. Because so many little girls, there you go. It's so many little girls like, oh, they all want to play soccer. They all want to play softball, right? But it's like, nah, because of Title IX, they don't have enough scholarships for American girls to play golf. So all of these colleges, Division 1, 2, and 3, they have all these foreign girls that have to come over and take these scholarships because not enough American girls play golf.
Yep.
It's
That's
crazy.
I'm like, just learn.
I'm gonna change that. I got 4, so one of them. I'm playing the numbers.
Just tell them. Say all you got to do is average. Really, like, have a 70 average.
And if you get into business, like, Danielle, that's another big hint. Like, a woman in business who can play golf. What? Yeah. That's
the world is your
way
oyster.
in. It's great. Like, and I talked when I was doing my podcast with Matt Barry. That's one of the things when we pitched it to ESPN, they were like, man, why golf? I go, because if you went to Aaron Rodgers and said, hey, we're doing this football podcast, he's going to mush you in the face.
Yep.
Right? You went to Andre Iguodala, you went to LeBron, you go to you name the player in that sport and say,
Steph.
hey, you want to talk about your sport? And they're going to be like, no.
Mm-hmm.
You go to any sport. Like, the last time I checked, like, Alex Ovechkin is not picking up his 8 buddies and playing pickup hockey in the office. Right? Like,
true.
Mike Trout is not be like, yo, you 10 dudes want to go play pickup baseball this winter? No. You know what they all do? Every single one, they all play golf.
Yep.
They all play it. It's crazy how, like, when I say golf is in everything, entertainment. Like you see all these people on TV and movies and music, you name it. All these big industry.
Justin Timberlake, Jimmy Fallon. You want to talk?
Justin Timberlake used to own a golf course. Like now you're like, hold up. Is that Jimmy Fallon and Mark Wahlberg on a golf course?
Yeah, Wahlberg loves golf.
Yeah. All them hard ass rappers that you're like, yo, this dude did 3 years in prison. Well, now he's wearing FootJoys and some Jordans with spikes on the bottom of them. Be like, wait, what?
Yep, it's amazing.
Well, Michael, you caddied for so many different players. You mentioned a couple of them: Omar Uresti, Robert Gomez. You got to add in Daniel Chopra, PGA champion Rich Beam, Kevin Streelman, Scott Piercy, and there's probably some more.
Oh yeah.
So obviously that meant you got fired a few times. Give us your most memorable firing, because caddies get fired.
Yeah, well, that's the nature of it too. And it's funny, man. This one dude is so mad at me right now, right? But it's like, I don't like using names on how I got fired and stuff, but now this dude, because
no one's listening.
We're friends, though. This is the thing. Daniel Chopra fired me in the wildest way ever. He didn't fire me himself. He sent his wife out to fire me. No. And that was on a Thursday after the first round. Yeah, we shot 6 over on Thursday after Chicago. Now, we had almost gotten a fight on the golf course, literally, at TPC Avenel back in the day it was a Buick back in the day. And literally in the middle of the bag, I put the bag down. I was like, dude, you want to go right here in front of everybody? Like, what's going on, man? What's the problem? Like, I didn't know. He was livid at me, and I had no idea why. And he was pissed. And it turned out later that I found out he thought that I was entertaining the other two caddies and players. But he had taken off. Like, he was a fast walker and he was a fast player anyway, so he had taken off and he was like 20 yards in front of everybody, and I was like 5 to 6 yards behind him, and then 14 yards in front of the other guys. But he heard them laughing, and instead of turning around, he just was like, he was in his headspace, so he was livid, thinking I'm making these dudes laugh, right? Because here's the thing, he was a rookie, right? And I was on USA Network on a show called PGA Tour Sunday. So I was like, the caddy was more famous than the player, and he was not okay with that. Just not an okay thing.
Wow. So wait, what'd the wife say? She just came out with it.
So you thought,
not you, it's me.
So this is at Avenel. We have this we're banging heads. We thought we were going to be really great together, and after about 5 weeks, it was like, oh no, it's not going to be.
Not it.
This ain't it. You know what I'm saying? And that's a relationship. It just ain't it. So Chicago was it. We up there, we're playing Cog Hill, number 2, shoot 6 over in the first round, and like we're not really talking or nothing like that. And like my wife was with me, like Celia was there too, and we were all had been traveling together. And so me and Celia in the parking lot, and then out comes his wife Samantha, and she was just like, look, we're gonna go in a different direction. And I was like, where's okay, cool. Like, your boy not coming out here? She was like, I'm a caddy for him tomorrow. We'll pay you for the week, but we're done.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, cool. And it was like, you knew it was coming. So it wasn't, it wasn't a shocking news or anything like that.
It's
it wasn't
kind of funny, the golfer caddy relationship. It's almost like, because I've seen B have to break up. I call it a breakup.
Yes, because it is a breakup.
And he's like, they're talking about it and they're contemplating it. And I'm like, this is literally like what I went through in like high school and college. Like,
it is like,
I'm kind of not interested anymore. He's kind of not working out, not making me happy. Like,
right? He's not giving me what I need. On the course, on the thing and whatnot. Or like that. Well, for me, it was just like, dude, I don't understand. Like, if nobody's rooting, this is the hard thing for players and caddies both. Well, not caddy. It's one of the hardest things is like understanding the relationship between a player and a caddy. Is one thing. Caddies are extremely loyal people because no one's rooting harder for the player than the guy on the bag, because my paycheck is dependent on you playing well. Right. So no one wants you to play better than me. No one. Because I need you to play well, because we're a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole. So, but when things aren't going really well, and changes have to be made, it happens out there. Or like if personalities you think are going to be great together aren't great together, then it becomes a strain on it. And as a caddy, what makes people ask all the time, like, what makes a great caddy? Well, what I think makes a great caddy is you don't caddy the same for same people, right? So, like, Omar Uresti didn't need the same stuff that Daniel Chopra needed. Kevin Streelman didn't need the same stuff that Scott Piercy needed. So I'm not going to talk to those guys in the same manner. I'm not going to say the same things to those dudes in those situations. Some guys, sometimes if I needed to say something to Streelman, if I was in the same position with Piercy, I wouldn't say nothing. Because some guys need different things. And that's what really makes a really good caddy. So it was like,
is picking up on those things.
It's knowing the right thing to say at the right time, and sometimes knowing when to not say anything when your instincts or other people's instincts would tell them, hey, this is the time the guy needs a pickup. And it's like, nah, this is actually the time where he needs a boot in the ass, and let him be mad. Like, let him sit in that seething anger for a second to get it out, And so it's knowing those moments. And that's why I fell in love with caddying. It's why it was that psychology of the game that made me really love and understand the nuances of top level golf and what makes these guys and these teams now of dudes this good. Because, you think about back when I started caddying, like in the late 90s, and you think about the guys in the 80s and the 90s, you never heard players in the 80s and the 90s say we.
Right.
Ever.
It was show up, keep up, and shut up.
That's it. It was me. It was all about me. And even the best caddies in the world that were out there at the time, and the guys that were really doing it as a business, their players weren't talking about them at all. Right. Where nowadays, if you're a guy who thinks you're going to go out there and you're going to do it all your own, you ain't going to last long on the PGA Tour.
Well, it's interesting too, because of your background, right? In comedy, where you have to read a room, right? You have to read social cues. You have to know what's working for this person, what's not working for that person. And it almost makes me think too, if you have thought about this, right? If you were starting out today or last year with social media and Instagram, how different do you think your path would have been, right? With the advent of all these guys that are making us laugh in the world of golf, whether it's Big Lot, whether it's Roger, whether it's Manolo, like, do you think
that Gino, think of Gino Benelli.
Yeah.
Gino Benelli kills it on social media with the stuff he's putting out there with him and Joel. But then you got to remember, like, those guys, they're also best friends.
Right.
You think of a guy like Joe Griner, with Max Homa. Those guys are best friends, and they've been best friends for a while. So, like, their relationship is a lot different than some of the other guys that are out there, where it's straight business. I mean, how many people were shocked and surprised when JT and Bones split? Like, I don't know how many people saw that coming.
I didn't.
So, I mean, there were a lot of people that didn't see that coming. So, but it does happen. It's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the game. And so, if I would have started, it's funny. I don't know if social media would have been what it has become now. When I was doing stand-up comedy and got into golf, I don't know then if I would have ever made that next step to caddying. Yeah. I don't know if I would have went to caddying, because I don't want to say I wouldn't have needed it, but there would have been different avenues that would have opened up, and doors that would have potentially opened up and changed my path because of the nature of how society is today. It wasn't that way back in 1998, when I first got introduced to professional golf.
How would you handle Rory McIlroy? Because a lot's been made of his player and caddy relationship, and he has been a long time since he won a major. What do you think he needs as far as talk?
Yeah, I don't think Harry gets enough credit for how good of a caddy he is. Didn't we hear this same talk about Dustin Johnson when he put AJ on the bag? How'd that work out?
Yeah,
oh no, he got a green jacket. So, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, how come we're not hearing this talk about other guys that are great players that haven't won a major yet, who don't have their best friend or their brother on the bag? I think right now I think what it is
Low
it's an
hanging fruit.
it's an easy talk radio thing. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's you know what it is? It's like, man, well, the phones aren't lit up today. What are we going to talk about? Slow play. How do we fix slow play? Be like, yeah, bring, and everything lights up. And when it comes to caddying, it's like, what are we going to do about Harry and Rory? Like, what you mean we? Like, who's he bringing on? Like, if you look at the caddy ranks out there now, you're telling me there's somebody better for him than Harry? You're somebody that knows his game better than Harry that's going to be able to say some things to him. And again, we look at it in a different way because when the camera's on and then something happens, you look back and use hindsight and you'll replay something and be like, see, here's what Harry could have said in this moment, or here's what he should have said in this moment. Like, if he would have done that, the shot would have been completely different. You don't know that.
Right.
We don't know. You're using hypotheticals. You know what I mean? Like, if we would have shot a cat for Thanksgiving, guess what we'd be eating? Hey, easy, right? Like, but that's
the only thing that made me mad with Harry is when that guy took the head cover off and took his driver. You know, he didn't do it. He might need a security guard out there with him, along with the caddy, because not everybody could be both. Not everybody could be, you know.
Well, in that moment, and this is like, Harry is a nice guy, right?
Right.
It ain't like he ain't Steve Williams, where
exactly.
like, I'm not
that
waiting.
would have been Steve.
And I'm the same way. Like, number one, other than my player, if you don't ask to touch it, because it's my bag. Right, that's my bags and they're my clubs until my player touches it. But he's the only other one that has the right to touch anything on my bag. So, like, I'm not waiting. If I used to be that way. Like, I'm the nicest guy in the world. But if you walk near my bag and we're going over to like touch something on the bag, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. So if I see anybody walk over towards the bag. Like, I didn't even let the people, when they were doing the survey stuff, when the Darryl surveyed people, don't touch my bag. And they were like, oh, I'm just doing a survey. I don't care. I don't care what you're doing. If you touch something in that bag, you're going to need to call somebody because it's going to be, I'm going to catch a case. Like, don't touch, you just don't touch my bag. You know what I mean? I have a friend of mine used to get so mad if people were going to go rub my head. It was like Albert Bell. This one dude, he was like, if I see somebody touch your head, I'm gonna punch him. Like, relax, bro. Like, it's okay. Like, I don't get, but if you go near my clubs or the clubs that I'm carrying, don't do that. So if that's but I saw, like, you could see the look on Harry's face when that spectator just walked over and started doing stuff. They were just like, is that guy supposed to be? Yeah.
So Michael, set the scene for us, right? It's Friday of the PGA Championship. It's 5:30 in the morning or whatever time it is. You're getting on site. Yeah. Was that one of the craziest days in your career covering the game of golf? And what was that like in that moment?
So we were in the car, me and a couple of the talent for ESPN. We were in the car sitting in traffic. We were going in the same entrance, same direction as Scotty Scheffler and Jeff Darlington. And we were probably 25, 30 minutes behind them. And in the car sitting in that traffic, we get a text message, Scotty Scheffler's getting arrested. And we were like, oh, that's funny, man. It's early in the morning to be messing with everybody like that.
He's the last guy that would get arrested.
Which is why at first we were like, that's funny. And then we were like,
checking the phone. You're like, it's not April.
It was similar to when Jim Furyk shot it. So the initial thought was similar to when I was on the golf course and got a text message, Jim Furyk's got a chance to shoot 58. And we were like, you're just saying that because, we're playing golf and you're trying to get us to leave the golf course to go over there at like noon before the leaders tee off in 3 hours. And then you're like, why would you say Jim Furyk? And it was that way. It was like, why would you say Scotty Scheffler's the guy? If there's one guy that you would never even make a joke about getting arrested, it would be Scotty, because he's the furthest dude that would be on that radar. And then it was like, is this for real? For real? And that's when one of the other producers texted him, was like, hey, Darlington was out of the car and got video of it. Yes, it's Scotty. This is real. And then it's like you pulling the fire alarm, and it was, the worst part. This is selfishly. That morning, I knew it was going to be nasty weather all day. So we knew Friday we saw what the forecast was. And when you wake up and it's pouring and it's nasty. So me knowing most of my hits for television were done outside on a porch. Right. And so it's kind of covered, but where I got to stand, I'm in the elements. So I was like, I'm not taking my suit. Right. I'm going to be in my rain gear. Right. I'm not even taking the button down and a tie because I'm going to be in rain gear. I'm golf polo and a jacket. So I'm going to have my rain jacket zipped up. So now this hits the fan and they're like,
producers going crazy.
Bro, you're doing Sports Center from the set. And I was like,
my FootJoy rain jacket.
See what happened was.
Is anybody a size?
Yeah, any 52 shorts just sitting around. You know what I mean? Oh, probably not. So literally, and how it happened was like when I got to the course, we literally threw everything down. I ran right to the practice putting green, saw 3 players and 3 caddies and talked to them, ran right to the set, was on TV telling everybody, I just talked to so-and-so and such and such, here's what's going down. Then I saw 3 and so I do that hit, run off the set, go back to see if there's any new guys. I see a couple of dudes getting off a golf cart carrying all their stuff. And now I talk to them, what's going on? Well, we just had to walk 1.5 miles. We left our car because we knew we weren't going to make it in time.
Wow.
So now I run back to the set.
You don't even
now
think about that part.
That's
how much the traffic affected everyone else.
Because everything was on lockdown and they weren't now because of what happened with Scotty Scheffler. Like it was a problem for players, media. It was a problem for people to just get into the course because there's only one way in. There's only one way to get in there for the players and caddies and for everyone other than spectators, which they were kind of locked out too now. And that was a different entrance. But for us now, it was like, so I see these guys so now I run back on the set and I'm live on SportsCenter again. Just saw 3 players get off a golf cart. They walked 1.5 miles to the front entrance. A cart had to be sent down for them. Here's what they said happened for them. And now my phone's blowing up and it's other players. We're staying at a house right around the corner that's only 2 miles away. But if I'm teeing off at 2:00 in the afternoon, when should I leave? And so I'm getting text message from calls from guys out there that, hey, what should I do? What should I tell my caddy? And so it was like in 2.5 hours, I think I probably did 8 SportsCenter hits.
Wow.
And this is all when like Jeff Darlington too is like sitting there
with
with the producer. Hey, Scotty Scheffler was watching from his jail cell.
He was rolling out.
How crazy was that? Like
stretching.
Yeah, he's like, well, I'm watching Get Up, and I'm on Get Up talking about like it's gonna be a problem for Scotty if he gets out, like time-wise. How is this gonna work? How's he getting there? And this is when the owner of Valhalla goes to pick him up. Like this ain't just like a Rory police escort. It's the owner of Valhalla,
right?
Going there to pick, and then, well, how's he gonna get in here? He probably
with the owner's attorney.
Yeah, like it was one of the craziest days. And what was the icing and the cherry on top? There were dudes. So all of this goes down 6:20 in the morning is when it all starts, when everything starts happening. At 6 a.m. in the morning, 6:20. By 1:45 in the afternoon, there were spectators in orange jumpsuits and had T-shirts with Scotty's mugshot.
Free Scotty.
Like, the fact that you own a T-shirt making company and happen to be a golf fan and happen to just have tickets to go to the PGA, and the first thing you thought was like, I gotta go on Google right now, bring this picture up, cut, paste, print. Here we go, screen silk this mofo on. Let's go. Like, I was just, it was one of the like when they used the term "life happens fast," bruh.
Wow.
And they were talking about, what do you expect Scotty to do? And I was trying to predict what was going to happen. I was like, everything in that moment, Scotty's the greatest compartmentalizer that there is when it comes to golf and life. Like he is really, he's the best since Tiger to like put here's golf and that's just golf and here's life and all the other compartments of life. They have nothing to do with what I'm doing on the golf course until when something crazy happens, the adrenaline crash that's going to happen is a serious problem. And that's what happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
Plus, he lost his caddy. Everyone forgets that Ted Scott left to go to his kid's graduation.
Yeah.
Which here's the thing about, and everyone's like, how's he going to do something like that? One, Scotty would have adamant about Ted going.
Yeah.
Because
families first.
That's who Scotty is. It's God and family. Like golf is fourth, maybe, right? Like that's the thing where his dad, Scott Scheffler, is most proud of his son and where he gets choked up talking about his son. It's why I love Scotty so much too. It's because Scott Scheffler said, I didn't care about raising a good golfer. That doesn't matter. Whether it's a great athlete, I don't care about that. I want to raise a good human being. I want to raise a good man. And that's he's done. Mission accomplished, bro.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. And I say the same thing about Ricky Fowler's mom and dad. I say the most thing I'm proud to say to them, and I love being able to tell them this, and I love being able to talk to Ricky about this because, I mean, Ricky's one of my boys on the tour.
The nicest guy ever.
He's the same. I met Ricky when I was caddying for Omar Uresti and we were going to Q school the same year Ricky was going to Q school. And he's the same down-to-earth dude that I met before he was famous Ricky Fowler. Before he blew up and became Ricky Fowler, he's the same down-to-earth, humble guy that was at that Q school before all the fame and fortune, which the only way that happens is having a solid family base and a solid family unit. And his mom and dad and his sister are grounded, good people too. And good people create, most of the time, 99% of the time, good people create good people because they set that example. And that's Scotty Scheffler. It's Ricky Fowler. It's even Jordan Spieth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that. So
yeah, no doubt.
There's a lot of dudes out on tour that are like that now, which is why when people are like, one of the big questions I always get all the time is like, all right, man, tell us the truth. Who are the jerks? Like, who's the assholes out there? And you're like, that's one of the other things you were talking about social media. Like, social media doesn't allow for that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you'll see it
because you're always on.
You'll be exposed.
Act like a jerk sometimes. And see how fast you end up on social media and how that plays out and how that ends. Like there's no more faking it anymore.
No.
You know?
I got to interrupt. How great was the Jordan Spieth clip when he lipped out and he just gives a fist pump and a thumbs up for the bogey? I was like, if that's not the most relatable thing ever, like awesome, perfect, just bogeyed, moving on. That clip was all over.
It's why guys like Tyrrell Hatton have exploded so much. Because of that. Because when you hear a guy, and now the microphones are left on all the time, which is another part that cracks me up. When a guy hits a bad shot, they leave the microphone, and then they were like, oh, you hear the guy be like, you suck. You're the worst golfer. And you're like, holy cow. Or, like, let's be honest. Everybody knows the golfers that curse out there. Everybody knows. So you're not going to tell me as a TV director or producer that you're not like, hey, when so-and-so's on the tee, let's turn the mic off just for a second. No. They want those microphones on. They want to have to be like, oh, we apologize for the bad language there. We didn't see that coming. Yes, you did. Stop lying. Yes. You're lying. Stop. We've all been in that situation. We didn't expect that. Oh. You're like, yeah, okay.
Oh my.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't see that coming. Whatever.
Yeah.
Now we might not have seen Zach Johnson turning around at the 12th at the Masters and F-bombing everybody because
didn't see that coming.
Yeah, didn't see that coming because no crowd can get there. So you could be over on number 12. You could be just F-bombing there. You be pointing people out. You right there in the red shirt. Hey, you can kiss my bleep, 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 mo, bleep, bleep. But you forget that the microphones are right there. That's the part that is forgotten.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, Danielle's going to ask the closing question, but I got to ask you this question because we talked about it. We got to talk a little birds. What do you see this year? Do you see Jalen Hurts progressing? Do you see us getting back?
This is
Tell me what you think.
So, you know what? As a Birds fan, we are all in this place, right?
Show them how loyal of a Birds fan.
All right, man. Here you go.
Yeah. And he's wearing Eagles green T-shirt.
He don't mess around.
Yeah. And this was designed by Doug Peterson, which is why there's a part of me I got a little bit of love for Jacksonville. Like if I'm gonna have an AFC team and I live close to Jacksonville.
Yeah, you live in Gainesville.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Doug,
you gotta come stay with us. Dougie P's right down there. He's our neighbor.
Oh, see, don't tease me like that. Threaten me with a good time. Listen, you want to hear something? Here's something crazy. Like as you're holding Lil Vienna. So you know what my job was before I did stand-up comedy too. I was Mr. Mike and used to teach pre-K. Like when me and Chris Couch won the tour championship at the Nationwide Tour event, my reward that night was to actually babysit Chris Couch and Bo Van Pelt's toddlers. Wow. I didn't get to go caddy party.
Did you at least have access to the wine cellar or anything?
Nothing. I was ordering. We had pizza and we had crayons and destroyed my hotel room.
Legos.
To the point where the next day, Bo Van Pelt's daughter was like, "Daddy, when do I get to hang out with Mr. Mike again? I want him to come watch me." Right?
Uncle Mike.
His son Christian. Yeah, they called me. I was Uncle Mike. So that was kind of awesome to be able to do. So the Birds, that was previous life, previous job. So here's the problem with the Birds for us as Eagles fans. We got a lot of hope and high expectations right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Where we know, if we're being completely honest, we understand last year was all smoke and mirrors, right? All smoke and mirrors. The one thing that we got back this year that we didn't have last year, one thing that every team, every business, every office, you know what you need if you really want to be the best? You better have an asshole. And we didn't have that last year. Everybody wanted to be the nice guy. It's the problem with the PGA Tour right now, too. Ain't no everybody who
all the bad guys went to live.
All the bad guys. They're good guys.
They're
the people
guys.
that were, they were the people that were made out to be the jerks.
Right.
They were the people that everybody was like, I freaking hate that dude, and I root against him and stuff like that. But you would watch him on TV because you rooted against him so hard that was like when that dude was on TV, you're like, man, put the TV on because I want to go and I want to be able to tweet and email. How dare you put that dude on? Blah, 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 blah. But now if you don't have that, you're like, hey, man, you're going to turn that on? You want to watch all these vanilla bean dudes and be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't need to see that. And that was the Eagles. Because you know where our ass went? He went to Detroit. Chauncey Gardner went to Detroit. Well, guess who's back? Yeah, that's right. You know why? You know why I like a dude like that? Because nobody wants to be held accountable by that dude, because that's the dude that will jump in your face and be like, we'll figure this out in the parking lot.
It's like Jimmy Butler in the NBA.
It's a hot cannon.
Yeah.
You just cannon. Like, I got to do my job because I don't want to fight him. Because like this dude, not afraid to throw hands. You need someone like that who everyone can rally around and be like, oh, that dude.
Especially in that position.
Especially in that position. He going to hold everybody accountable. Like, I'm going to take the hit for everybody, but all of y'all better act right. All of y'all better act right, right? Like that's our guy. We need that on the team, and now we got it back again. And Saquon just showed up.
Yeah, he can stay healthy.
What says where'd you go? Don't even ring bells. Give me that dude with a chip on. You know what? Good. Give me that dude with a chip on his shoulder.
Well, now he's got an offensive line.
Maybe he's going to get hurt. Okay, we'll see.
Now he's got an offensive line.
And we have some adults in the room at coordinator. I think having some experience and some veterans in those rooms helps.
The only thing I think we should be nervous about, and this is it, because everyone's going to put so much pressure on Sirianni.
Yeah.
Right? But no one's going to be like, hey, how many coordinators have we had in the last 3 years? Three different offensive and defensive?
Crazy.
3 different ones in the same way. So you're gonna blame one dude and be like, well, it's his fault. Well, hold up, man. Does it take a little while for everyone to get on the same page? Now, I love the fact that we're seeing the Eagles now doing so many activities together, right? Because that's you need how many guys are playing golf? How many guys are at Top Golf having a good time or going bowling, having a good time? I love the fact that we're doing that. I want to see Jalen do more of that too on his own. I want Jalen and the wide receivers and the tight end. Bro, I want to see some Instagram stuff that gets accidentally leaked of y'all on boats together.
Yeah, I'd like to see Jalen have a little fun.
Yeah.
You know,
with the team, not like everything that this dude is doing is awesome and fantastic. But I need to see you doing some stuff on your own that accidentally gets leaked out, like that nobody was supposed to see. You know what I mean? Y'all chilling in the Caribbean on a boat together.
No boat pictures. No boat pictures.
Bonding.
That didn't do well for the Giants years ago.
No boat pictures, Michael.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
Listen, that's different. Same thing like I don't need dudes having fun with fireworks either. That seems to be a Giants problem as well. You know what I mean? Let the fireworks be the pros. You know what I'm saying? So, but I like the team that we have right now. I really like the team that we have. And I really think that there's an opportunity for this team, especially with like what we were able to do in the draft on them first 2 draft picks. Bruh.
Yeah.
Like,
corners.
So our team has given us a lot of hope, but that's also usually the team that breaks our heart the hardest.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm going into this as an Eagles fan with like hopeful pessimism. Because that's what we're the best at. Where people are like, yo, you Eagle fans are the worst. No, we're not. But nobody loves the Eagles harder and nobody hates the Eagles harder. It's why we have a judge and a jail cell under the link. Come to our place wearing an opponent's jersey and then celebrate when you leave and see what happens. I'll never forget going to a Colts game and we beat the Colts on a Sunday night game. And when I left wearing my Eagles stuff, all the Colts fans were like, hey, that was a great game, man. I really lucked out. That was good. Like, and I'm looking at them saying, like, you understand that this is not how this will go down in Philly. Right? You understand, like, this is not how this, like, we're not like that. We're not going to be like, hey,
they're way too nice in Indianapolis.
You lucked out that time. No,
but we'll have to go to a game. We'll have to go to a game together this year.
Oh,
sure.
Together. Last time we were supposed to go, I couldn't leave. Give Michael my tickets. He ends up next to Meek Mill. I'm like,
sorry, not sorry.
I was dying inside.
I wasn't going to tell that part of the story.
PTSD.
Yeah.
He's like sending me pictures with Meek. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right.
I'm sorry.
So the interception happens,
48.
and they come right over to Meek and give Meek and his son the football. And all of my friends are texting me the picture of me next to Meek, like, yo, that's right. You know,
like that's supposed to be me, Mike, and Meek.
Sorry, not sorry.
All right, well, let's stay in Philly then, real quick, Danielle. We had Josh Saunders, director of grounds at Lancaster Country Club, on last week as our guest. So we ask everyone this question. It gets people in trouble. It gets us in trouble. You know, people love talking about what's Philly, what's not. But Danielle, go ahead, hit them with it.
Yeah, we got to know. Philly-based show, Philly crew here today. What is your favorite Philadelphia golf course?
Or courses.
Got to pick one. 2. We'll give you 2.
1A, 1B.
So Lancaster doesn't count because it's not a Philly course.
Yeah, it's in the Gap.
We call
it.
If you're in the Gap.
Have you been to Gap, Pennsylvania? Like,
no.
I grew up in Berks
Association.
County. I know all about Gap.
Yeah. Berks County is not Lancaster County. You know what I'm saying?
The Golf Association of Philadelphia includes Lancaster.
You're going to make people happy saying that.
I bet it does, but no. You're just trying to say that because you want to include Lancaster Country Club.
All right, well, how about Pine Valley? It's in New Jersey, but it's a Philly
course. Pine
course.
Valley's not in Philly. It's not a Philadelphia course, and Pine Valley's in the hood.
Is Villanova a Philadelphia
Pine Valley's
school?
in the hood. There's nothing like seeing people going to Pine Valley for the first time. I would love
What
to
are we
set
just
up a
saying?
camera.
Cobbs Creek? That's it? That's all
I
we can say?
would love to set up a camera out by that like
where you cross
by
the
that
railroad.
hood amusement park that looks
Clementon.
like it is no one's ever visited to make sure is all of this stuff under code.
I want to have a camera on everyone driving to Pine Valley. Yeah.
Be like, I don't
checking
think
your
we-
GPS. Like, did I
Yeah.
click on the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Like navigation. Did you go to the right spot?
My Waze actually must have ate a gummy before we left, because this is not where we're supposed to be. If you're there's two courses that are absolute must plays in Philly, and it's Marion and Aronimink. They're
Is there
the must
1A,
play.
1B, or is it
Marion? There's Marion. I just played Marion for the Eagles for Autism. It's the third time that I've played it. And so I played it Monday after the U.S. Open was there, Monday after Justin Rose won.
Oh, wow.
And then I've played it twice now in the Eagles
What'd you
for
shoot
Autism
in those
event.
conditions?
I shot Farfig Nugan, kiss my, so Marion, I've played a lot of U.S. Open courses. I've been very lucky that I've been fortunate enough to play a lot of U.S. Open courses Monday after the U.S. Open.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I've been very lucky. Marion and Oakmont are the two hardest courses I've ever played in my life on a Monday after a U.S. Open. And it's not even close.
Yeah,
it's
I've
not
heard
even
that
close.
a lot about Oakmont.
Yes. It was.
Monster.
But both of them are like Marion. If you miss a fairway after the U.S. Open, you're not getting out without you're chopping out a wedge. Period. And that Ernie Els, when I told him I had won this lottery and I was getting to play, he goes, "Guzzy, when you get in that rough, don't try to be the hero. Don't none of that out of there. You'll take wedge and you just get it out. Guzzy, don't try." And the first hole, I missed the fairway and I'm in the rough, and I'm like, because we didn't start on one.
That's a shortish hole.
Center.
Yeah.
I didn't start on one.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No, we were by the media center, so we were on the back like by 13 or something crazy. And I was like, that ain't sitting that bad. I can get 7-iron on this. And the rough was like, as soon as I took the club back and came down, the rough was like, "Bitch, come here. You ain't."
I'll take that club.
I'll take that, and your ball's going 3 feet and staying in the rough.
So Marion and Aronimink.
Marion's number
Love
one.
it.
And then Aronimink is one of those. Aronimink's one of those courses that it's such an old school golf course, but you hear the name, and if you've never played it, you're like, nah. I know they played like the BMW there one time, and then you play it, and you're like, holy crap, this is a really good golf course, and it's all that you want. It's another one where you're like, hey, you want to play the tips? No. Let's not. Let's play it forward.
Like Cat Williams, for free, you can go all the way back there.
You're like, hey, this is not like, what do you?
That's egomaniacal.
How do you define your day? Like some guys are like, hey man, how'd you shoot? Well, let's just say it was only 28 cents per shot. Be like, but that's a very expensive club. Yeah, exactly. So if it was 28 cents a shot, tells you how I did.
Love it. Love it. Well, listen, hopefully we'll get a chance to play together. Hopefully, we'll go to a game together. If you're coming to Scranton, for
we'll get the band together for NEPA.
We will. We will have some fun. But we appreciate your time.
Yeah, this was great.
It's great to finally have you on. Tell Sobel we said what's up.
Whatever. Now he's not allowed back on until I get 2 more appearances.
All right,
deal.
Simple as that.
We can have you on together too. I'm
gonna tell him straight up. No, I don't want him on too, because me and him always argue about the Mets and the Patriots.
Love it. Thank you, Michael.
You'll meet Uncle Mike in September.
I can't wait.
There you go.
I can't wait.
All right, let's take a quick break, and we will be right back with more. All right, welcome back to Swing It and Ding It. Great to have Michael Collins on. Man, he is funny and can go. We gotta book like a long series podcast and just like talk about everything.
Yeah, at ESPN Caddie on both X and Instagram. He's a great follow too.
Yeah, Danielle, welcome back. We did not think you were going to be on this week. Incredible to have you on here.
Yeah, you text me like, when are you coming? I'm like, she's a week old. We got to teach her about a work ethic. She's sleeping on the job though, so not great already.
Wow, congratulations to you and Brandon. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Can't wait to meet her. Cannot wait to meet her. We were just talking about the golf outing because it's under 2 weeks now. Harry, it is. I'm finalizing. I'm getting all the names and everything. Where Tito's is back. That's a big one. We have the bar set up. That was the number one asked question.
Out by the 10th tee, right? Wasn't it over? Yeah.
And we have some new sponsors this year. Oh, look at this. Here we go. The rest of the family. Congratulations, Dad. You believe you're somebody's dad?
Yeah, how about that?
I have the headphones on, so he can't hear you. They said, "Congrats! Can you believe that you're someone's dad?"
No.
Don't let anybody do that these
But
days. Huh?
see, he's still in training. He comes in and grabs the dog instead of the baby.
Yeah. So and we have some new sponsors. We're gonna, we like to have some fun out there, right? We have Iconic Candy will present the iconic trip giveaway to Casa de Campo. So the finalists, the top 5 foursomes can break into 2s and do the chip and putt over 18. How about Gerhard's Appliance? We're gonna have a dryer out there somewhere, and so people are gonna be chipping into the dryer,
like Rory did when he was like 5 years old on that television show.
Yeah, for an incredible prize. So much going on. Santa Familia Tequila is going to be out there with our cigar roller.
I love that guy. He was
our buddy.
Terrific.
Well, that's Fact Money. That's our buddy Andrew Factor provides that for us. So, and of course Rita's Water Ice, who will be there. We always like to give the last place team, we call them the coldest foursome, they get Rita's gift cards. This way they get something too. So it's going to be a blast. Really looking forward to it. I just can't take any more players in it. I have to shut it down. I keep having to shut it down.
What if I show up? Can I have
an
honorary?
You're automatically
your group.
Yeah, you're automatically.
I'll just ride around with you.
Yeah, Harry, you're heading to the tee after this. How's the golf game going? Let's just still progressing properly.
I took a speed bump last Saturday.
That happens.
Worst round of the year so far. So, but I'm not changing course. I'm sticking with what I'm doing. It was just a bad day. I was dehydrated and a lot of other things, but we're back at it today at 1:30.
Love it. Yeah, I've had.
Harry's not even going to have some range time. He's going to go there and head straight to the first tee.
I know, which is not usually what I do, but that's what we'll do.
Maybe it works. Yeah,
maybe.
This might be that's the new thing. Yeah, I've had three of my best rounds in a row.
Nice.
Just trying to work on a little pre-shot routine, focusing on a target, making smarter decisions. I got a new putter. All the little things are starting to work for me.
What kind of putter we got?
It's a Cobra, but it has like the big Super Stroke grip on it. Yeah. And I have really long arms, so it's a short putter. It's but it's a blade. I went back to the blade. I felt like I couldn't feel it. I had the bigger Bettinardi one, and I had no feel to my putts. So yeah. John Deere Classic, Harry, an iconic tournament. Field of 150. Only 2 weeks from the Open. Obviously, you have the big event in Scotland next week too. So a lot of guys are skipping this. Sanjay is your top official world golf ranking player at 29 and the favorite.
Yeah.
2-time winner Jordan Spieth is here. How about you have that Neil Shipley, who's had a T26 in the U.S. Open, and he was right up there in the Rocket Mortgage too. So it's
he's playing great.
Good to see him. But let's talk about the course, of course, with TPC Deere Run.
Yeah, John Deere Classic, TPC Deere Run. D.A. Weibring designed this. He's a former PGA Tour player back in 2000. You got to shoot 20 under or better to have a chance of winning. I mean, this is a birdie fest. They got it's a par 71, under 7,300 yards. The greens are kind of good size, 5,500 square feet average green. They got 3 par 5s, 4 par 3s, and 11 par 4s, and 3 of them are under 400 yards, and 1 that's reachable off the tee, and that's the 14th holes. A drivable par 4, 361 yards, a definite birdie hole, a lot of risk reward. You miss right, you're in the Valley of Sin, and if you miss over the green, you got to chip back up, pitch back up a 60-foot bluff. The 15th hole is a par 4, one of the toughest on the golf course, actually. Second toughest actually on the back 9, and long, tight driving hole with an approach to a long, narrow green. The 16th, as you can see, part of it behind me, it's sort of the signature hole. It's a par 3 along the river, the Rock River, and it's only 165 yards. Not long, but it can be really tricky. 40-foot down a deep ravine in the front and 2 deep bunkers left and 1 right. The 17th hole is a par 5, reachable in 2 from much of the field, of 568 yards, requires a long, well-positioned tee shot. You're going to need well-positioned to find an elevated green with this huge bunker right in the front that sort of divides the green into 2 distinct areas. The 18th hole, kind of an iconic hole when it comes to this golf course, par 4, 476. It's called Conquistador, which is after one of the horses that was raised on this property, which used to be a horse farm way back in the day. Challenging tee shot, must avoid the fairway bunker on the left and the big tall tree on the right at the dog leg. And then you got an approach to a narrow green with, you got water left and you got bunkers right. And you'll never forget the Jordan Spieth bunker shot way back in 2013 that went on to, he had to hit that to force a playoff. And then he went on to win the playoff for his first PGA Tour win. And like you said, he's won there twice. He won there a few years after that. So it's a really cool golf course. Looks like a lot of fun to play, sort of like the one up in River Highlands in Connecticut. A lot of birdies. So you like watching these guys, you know, shoot low. That's what you're going to get this week.
Great place for see somebody get their first win too.
Yeah,
right. This is the kind of tournament where you'd love to see somebody step up and get a win. But if you're hitting the links this weekend, just like the pros are, be right there with them. Get in on all the tee to green action at DraftKings Sportsbook. From the first tee shot on Thursday through the final putt on Sunday, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same game parlays, live betting, odds boost, and so much more. It's super easy for first timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a golfer to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It's that simple. We talked about Sanjay as the favorite at 1,600, Sepp Straka 1,600. Guys a little bit further down, you know, even like a Jordan Spieth at 2,200, JT Poston at 3,000. So someone can make some hay here. A Maverick McNeely, maybe. Take a look. And if you are new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code DING. That's code DING for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Who you liking, Harry?
Well, I'm taking JT Poston in one and done. He's won here a few years ago. He's a great putter. You need to be a great putter pretty much every week on the PGA Tour, but at this place especially, you got to drain a lot of putts. Plus 330 in a top 10. He's plus, like you said, plus 3,000 to win. I'm taking him a one and done. I also like Denny McCarthy. Talk about putters. Plus 260 in a top 10. This would be a sneaky good place for him to get that first win you're talking about. Davis Thompson is a young guy that's playing at really good golf. Plus 125 in a top 20. Nick Dunlap, another young guy, has already got a win. Turned pro. He's starting to play much better now after a little bump. Plus 190 in the top 20. And I'm taking Seamus Power in a matchup at minus 130 over Bo Hostler.
All right. You talked about Sepp Straka won it. JT Poston's won here. Lucas Glover. 11 of the 14 winners played in this event the prior year, and the past 7 all played the week prior. I can't bet Zach Johnson, even though he's at a T5.
He's really good here.
Better. Yeah. I know. I just can't bet him. I do like Lucas Glover. He's got a win. He's got a T6 last year at 4,500. Pretty good number on him. How about Denny McCarthy? He's got a couple T6s here at 2,200. Eric Cole at 5,000. And yeah, Sanjay's at the top of the board, but but he's played well. He's a T3 and a T5 here. So we'll see how it goes. It's funny, real quick, our friends at All Access, we were going to talk to Michael Collins about it, but he had some travel issues going to Ireland, and you just got to do it the right way. You got to use our friends from All Access GTE. There's a link in our Instagram bio for some special opportunities and pricing. Go check those guys out. And that's it, Harry. You got to get out there and swing it and ding it. So we don't want to keep you any longer.
Yeah, we got to rock and roll. Let's go.
All right, let's get it. And we'll be back next week.